Uh-oh, we got some drama to talk about. Jim Lee is too expensive. That's what 3 people in a Facebook group of 10 members complained about on the internet. And now this is the biggest story in the comic book market. Jim Lee charges up to $35,000 for private commission artwork. And everybody is up in arms about the prices. Or everybody's up in arms about the people who are up in arms about the prices. So in this video, we got to talk about this. We got to ask ourselves the question, is this at the end of the day the collector's fault? Those dirty flippers that want to buy this art and sell it on eBay. Are you or I to blame? Yeah, you, person listening. Steven. Imagine that you're a Steven right now watching this video and you own Jim Lee artwork. And then you actually flipped that Jim Lee artwork. I'm talking about you, Steven, calling you out. But before I do, like, comment, subscribe, let's get into this video. On Jim Lee charging up to $35,000 for a private commission artwork. This is a bleeding cool article that sort of summarizes what the drama has been. Jim Lee's private art commissions reach up to $35,000 for detailed pieces. Offers include various sizes and options with limits on availability per show. Comic book creators support Lee's right to set his own prices for original artwork. Discussion sparked amongst fans and creators on the value of Lee's commission. So as we know, San Diego Comic-Con is right around the corner, and it looks like Jim Lee is going to be attending the show, has opened up his commission list, and his agent released this particular kind of press release talking about, the fact that, hey, Jim Lee's going to be taking commissions, and here was the pricing sheet. For an 11 by 17 full figure, one character with limited backgrounds, it costs $20,000. More than one character, extra backgrounds, or a recreation of other covers not drawn by artists, it's $25,000 to $35,000. So there you see up to $35,000. A 9 by 12 waist up on a figure with limited backgrounds, $9 to $15K. Blank comic cover, bust shot only, $8,000. A wraparound is $12,000. You can get a 3 by 7 small headshot for $1,000. And that is the cheapest option. Here's a couple references of what he typically does. So these would be the types of pieces that would get, upwards of $30,000. It's been an interesting thing, seeing the reaction here over on X. I happen to be browsing X. Go give me a follow. I'm trying to use X a little bit more, even though I've not been very good about posting over there. But the reactions, I think, have been a little overblown. I mean, I think that that's typical for what happens over on X. But when this article was posted and people sort of reacting to the prices, everyone is kind of sort of in jest, sort of saying that, yeah, those things are way too expensive, obviously with the Michael Scott head shake, and good for him. We should be happy for artists that have clientele that can plunk down that kind of coin. This person right here, seeing the tweet, seeing the prices, with the frowny face, just out of my price range, but how cool would that be? I think maybe you added too many zeros with the passing out. Should have that in my couch cushion somewhere. That's not just my con budget, that's more than my year's budget. Who has that kind of money, sees the prices and laughs? And I think that, a lot of these comments are sort of people joking around, but then there were other people that took it sort of to the next level. As we see from the Apocalypse Cowboy, well, fans acting entitled as ever when it comes to Jim Lee commissions. God almighty, what a bunch of entitled brats. And here you see a couple of receipts over on Facebook. Now, again, I have no idea who these people are. We have no idea what this Facebook page is. For all we know, it could be 10 people on the internet complaining about con prices. But as we know from the comic book collecting market, I mean, everybody complains about prices all the time. So what's really the difference here? Anyways, think these prices are bad? Just wait until you see how much he gets paid just to show up. While I love his art, this is beyond insulting to me that he would charge that much. I'd rather buy a car. Ridiculous. Geez, well, smoke 'em if you got 'em. Jim Lee's art is phenomenal. These prices are not. I get his time is worth a lot, but what a nice big middle finger to everyone that has supported the industry over decades with 9 upvotes. Considering that his cheapest option is my whole paycheck and the next option up is about 3 months of my paycheck for me, and I'm a bit above minimum wage for my state, that's a big ask, not to mention costs of going to a show on top of that, travel tickets, time off work, etc. Now, personally, to me, without trying to be a jerk, I think that these comments are absolutely ridiculous. I don't think Jim Lee owes anybody a commission or a sketch. or anything. If you can't afford it, make more money. I mean, that's really all you have to say about it. I mean, because there's going to be people that want to pay for it. But do any of these people have a point? Should we entertain the idea that artist commissions are too much money? I mean, I don't think they are. I mean, I think the market rate is the market rate. I don't think you can really argue with that. But let's just try to do the thought experiment. Is this too high a price tag? And is the reason that it is too high a price tag because of us, because of resellers, because of dirty flippers out there? Why does Jim Lee charge $20K for an original 11x17? Because people are taking smaller pieces by him and selling them on eBay for much more. Crazy how the machinations of capitalism has us thinking that the last person who should be paid for their art are the artists themselves. And this person listed a screenshot of someone trying to get $26,000 or best offer for this Jim Lee piece of Ghost Rider. Now, we all know that just because you list something on eBay and ask $26,000 for it does not mean that you're going to get $26,000. No, that is not actually the going rate on the secondary market for Jim Lee art pieces, especially if you're considering that these are commission pieces, which, you know, we can kind of get into a whole discussion about this. Commission pieces that are unpublished art are always going to be really difficult for resale purposes. I mean, it's really only the published pieces that are going to command prices, you know, in the 6-figure range, maybe the 7-figure range for a lot of comic book art if it's actually been published, because, you know, that's going to increase the demand side. I mean, you have to sort of know what the piece is. It's got to be a famous piece for people to actually want to have in their collection. If I go up to Jim Lee and ask him to draw, you know, a commission of Darkhawk, does anyone really want that? Okay, obviously a bad example. Everybody wants Darkhawk, but this got me curious. You know, I wanted to go over to Heritage sold items, and I just kind of typed in Jim Lee original art and viewed past sales and arranged it by most recent sales. And let's kind of see what we get. What does Jim Lee get for, you know, published artwork these days? Here you see $14,000 on June 23rd. So it was in one of the recent auctions. And there you see a nice Jim Lee Scott Williamson Batman page right there. So $14,000 for a published Jim Lee page with Batman. That's a pretty cool 2-panel right there. It's almost a splash of Batman. So, I mean, if you really had the money, you know, for this sort of commission stuff, and you really wanted to pick something up, I mean, this would have been a way better buy, in my opinion. You have a 2007 DC comic book right here from All-Star Batman and Robin, the Boy Wonder #6. I mean, this is definitely a better use of your money, in my opinion, you know, if we're talking about resale value, than, say, paying 9x12 waist-up figure with limited backgrounds for up to $15,000. Because at least with this page, you know, you're always going to be able to resell it. So I don't think the people who are doing these commissions, in their mind, are really thinking that this is going to be a fruitful endeavor for them. I think that these are people that are big fans of Jim Lee who want to have a killer piece in their collecting room that they can have done for themselves. I mean, you would think that that's who these people are going to be. Here's another story page that has Green Lantern on it. It's not very dynamic, but it does have the Joker on it. And this one sold for $2,800. So you could have a Jim Lee art page in your collection for, you know, less than $3,000. That's pretty good. I mean, I'd rather pay for this. I'd rather have this piece in my collection than like a commission. I mean, and I don't know. I mean, some commissions, I'm sure, you know, get some value or secondary market pricing. I mean, obviously, there's still some value in it. And because it's a one-of-one piece, if somebody wants it, someone's going to want it, or someone has to pay up for it. But if you really just took a piece and had him draw a Batman, you know, a 9x12 Batman, and threw it up on Heritage Auction, what would the floor value be? Like, what would the market actually pay for it? I don't necessarily think it's guaranteed that you're going to get the actual rate that the commission took for him. Check this out. This is pretty badass. Jim Lee X-Men corner box illustration. This is the little corner that you see in the upper right, left corner of comic books right there. See all the X-Men, $33,000. Someone paid $33,000 for this. And this can't be very big, right? What's the size of this? 2x4. 2x4. A small piece. Look at that right there on the comic page. Look at that. Someone paid $33,000 for this right here. But that, again, kind of demonstrates the point that it's not really about the art so much as the infamy of the art. You know, everybody is familiar with this image. Everybody knows that this is the art box, you know, on all our comic books. So while Jim Lee does command secondary market value, for sure, I mean, definitely people want Jim Lee pages and Jim Lee artwork. I mean, if we sort by high right here, we'll see that people are definitely paying up for this stuff. But at the same time, you know, I don't think that it's guaranteed that your commissioned piece is going to get an incredible value. This one right here, $500,000 for the fold-out cover of Hush. That is pretty incredible right there. $360,000 for the splash page of Jim Lee's X-Men. You got $300,000 for the cover art for Uncanny X-Men 268. That thing is amazing. But again, let's jump back and see what some of the people here are saying. A lot of comic creators are now bitching about Jim Lee's commission prices. I swear I don't know why these people are trying to make a living at art when they have zero business acumen whatsoever. Jim Lee sets his price based on the value he believes he brings. And while I do actually think that's true, I would like to offer one little counterpoint. But let's take a read here. Jim can command those prices because he can attract high dollar collectors. There's plenty, and I'm sure he keeps his commission schedule full. The reality is that if he set his prices lower, he would still have a full commission schedule and simply be making way less money. Yeah, creators can set their own price. If people don't like it, don't buy it. If there's no demand, he'll lower his price. Simple. Jim Lee is a fantastic artist, terrible editor-in-chief, but a fantastic artist. I actually kind of agree with that comment, but we're not going to get into that. Anyways, it goes on and on and on, and you guys can take a look at this for yourself and kind of weigh in. I did want to kind of talk about, you know, the value that he believes that he brings. I do think that there is one interesting aspect to the art world, and this is, you know, sort of shrouded in the kind of tinfoil hat aspects to art buying and art collecting. There is an element to where artists protect their floor value, because as we did demonstrate right here, you can find commissioned pieces for Jim Lee that sell for a lot less than what he actually asked for. So it's not that his commission list is always going to be full. You know, maybe there's not going to be more than 3 people that actually decide to pay their $35,000 price, you know, which kind of does state that, well, you know, if you want more customers, you may need to lower the prices for that. But it's kind of just up to him. Like, this is the price that it requires for him to take the time to make the art. You know, like, he might just be happy not drawing at all. You know, he may just want to go to the con and shake people's hands and take pictures. It's also the price that requires him to step away from doing what he's supposed to be doing, which is being the president and editor-in-chief of DC Comics. But how much of that work is he actually doing? Like, does Jim Lee really edit the DC Comics? Or does he just do CGC signings all the time? I don't know. I don't get the sense that he spends much time editing comic books, but I could be wrong. Anyways, that's all right for this video. What do you guys think about this drama? I thought it was very interesting. Do you think that this is a reseller issue? Do you think collectors are the problems here? Again, a lot of creators were saying that he should be able to charge whatever he wants. And then, of course, you always have that subset of the fan base that is like, how dare he charge more than I'm able to afford? While I think those comments are kind of ridiculous, and this is, again, all overblown because we're talking about 3 people on the internet that took issue with it. Do those people have a point at all? Let me know what you guys think. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. See you on the next video.